Hey, everybody, what is up? It's your boy
What
Easy.
is going on? Oh, it's your boy Ryan. Oh my God.
Woo! Oh, my goodness. And you're listening
Oh,
to.
it's back. We're
It's
back.
back.
2
We're
weeks.
back.
Oh my
We're
God.
back.
Whew.
And yeah, you're listening to Turtle Soup. The world, the internet, the universe, the galaxy,
You name 'em.
the ether.
Name every eventuality.
Everything.
Correct.
It's only
Every timeline.
community-supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the way from the beginning, which I think is this that way, till my fingernails and toenails paint themselves. Just because, I mean, I don't understand how at this point,
Maybe in some future.
But like, I don't understand how it's 2021. We have like electric cars.
Yep, it's the future.
It literally thank you. Yes, the future. We are in the future.
Yep.
How do we not have self-painting fingernails? Like I'm not talking about a device.
Yeah.
I'm talking like we should have seen evolution move forward with ourselves in some form or fashion, and we've got organs, we don't know what they do. Like all the superfluous stuff. Why can't we just have self-painting fingernails?
We're not obviously not putting as much time as we need to into breeding the right kind of traits into ourselves, like
Precisely.
self-painting fingernails, regrowable teeth, things like that.
Yes. I was telling somebody, I forget who it was, about your story about the teeth and how like stupid they are, like, and just like how it doesn't make any sense, and it was cracking. It was hilarious. But,
literally, I think every other creature with teeth, like sharks and shit, like they can actually like fix that. They're like, that's fine. I got another one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, humanity, like the actual the like uber species, like over all the animal kingdom.
Right.
And we're like, I have a cavity. It hurts so bad. Like that's so stupid.
It is. But you know what else is
so
stupid?
That's what happens when you take yourself out of the evolutionary chain.
It is indeed. But you know how to get yourself back into the evolutionary chain, Ryan? What you do is you go to YouTube. And if you're already here, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Your streets ahead.
Yeah.
So go to that. If you're already here, find the subscribe bell button, whatever it is. Click it. Click the thumbs up and subscribe and like us and all that fun stuff. And that way you're ahead of the curve, and you're on the Chuckle Bus, and it's a good time to be had by all.
Get on the Chuckle Bus.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because we always need more. We always got room for more. So and again, thank you to everyone who joined us earlier. The pregame show, that was a lot of fun. And if you missed it this week, don't worry. We'll more than likely be back next week, pending any kind of allergic reactions I have. But nevertheless, speaking of things that keep us going, Ryan, things that are like ahead of the curve, things that people that are just like the bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? The
prototypes of the species, if you will.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. I want to think
a strain.
Yes. Well, those people have brought you, not only set the example of like what we should all try to be, but they've also made sure this episode can be facilitated to you, if that's even how I use those words. And those wonderful patrons, Ryan, there's a lot of them, but we're going to focus on two right now. And that's Shane Dalton and Jonathan O'Donnell. So thank you very much, Shane, and thank you very much, Jonathan. We appreciate you very much, and thank you for making the show not say Clang, and keeping the Foot Clan from destroying the podcast.
Support. We can count on you. I mean, like all those things.
All those things.
Thanks for being a family.
Yes, thank you so much. And Ryan, so one thing that you do with family is you go on journeys, and
sure.
Where are we taking the family this journey? This step in the podcast, this step in the journey. Where are we taking the family?
Pack up your possessions. Anything you cannot stand apart with. The Chuckle Bus is here. The door's open. The warm sound of laughter and chuckling.
Yes.
And the warm smell of biscuits come out the door as you cautiously take your first few steps into the Chuckle Bus. You look up. Your driver is the Burger King King. That's a reveal. And you're a little shocked. But he's not a man in a suit.
No, that's real.
He's really that size. And you'd think that seeing him in flesh would like trip the uncanny valley, and you might cry, pee your pants, break your own brain. It's not true. When you see him, much like how they say, like when you see a ghost, you just understand it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't, like a lot of people don't freak out. They just go,
Right.
oh, that's what a ghost is.
Right.
When you see the king that way, you go, of course he'd be driving the chuckle bus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm home.
Yep.
And then when you step on and you sit down, and right in your seat, you're chuckling already. We're already chuckling.
Mm-hmm.
You pull out what you think is like in case this thing gets to an accident, here's a little like what you see in an airplane, like put your head between your legs shit.
Mm-hmm.
When you pull that out, you realize it's a program for the journey.
Right.
And if you follow the stop you got on, you go, where am I headed? Today, you're headed into our second to last dive into our bag of tricks with the VHS release or recording that we were able to find of TMNT's educational film titled The Mystery of the Cliffs, brought to you by the U.S. Department of the Interior and, well, almost everyone involved in the TMNT franchise, outward facing, somehow is involved in this one project. The one time you have almost all of the stars come together at once.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, this is exactly when I was meant to get on the chuckle bus.
Precisely.
And you look behind you, and guess who's sitting right behind you?
Who?
He's kicking your seat a little bit. And you're like, who? And you turn around, you're like, who the hell is that?
Mm-hmm.
It's Steve Harvey chuckling at you.
Oh, yeah.
And you realize, everybody's chuckling. You gotta look, you're like, oh, like, this is right where I'm supposed to be.
Right, exactly.
And then later on in your itinerary, you look down and you realize that there's some thoughtful words written by other Turtletarians.
Right.
And they may take the form of emails. And you go like, oh, this is like the kind of stuff they read on the show. This is really cool. Like, but these are, and you realize they're written in pen.
Yeah.
They're on the chuckle bus with you, man.
They're right there with you.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's a whole thing. So like,
and you look behind, there's only one set of wheels in the sand.
Yeah, exactly. There's only one set of there's only one trail of smog. Right. And it's from the chuckle bus. And it was carrying you all along.
Precisely.
So we have some emails that you would read on your journey. And we have full disclosure, Jono, baby bird, brother of mine. We're going to hit your email up next week because it is full of very thoughtful stuff.
Right.
We don't have time this week. So, baby bird, you just gotta wait. You're on the meal plan. You're on the chuckle bus like meal plan where they're like, you ain't gonna eat right now, but you're gonna eat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the emails that you have in your little brochure today include one from Mads, who says, "Hey guys, I'm new to your podcast, like brand new, and I'm really enjoying it so far and excited to catch up with you guys. I'm on episode 0, and you mentioned an Excel spreadsheet of the TMNT comics, shows, movies, etc. over the years. I was wondering where you guys posted that because I'm not finding it. I think it would be so fun to see. I know that was a long time ago, so if you don't have it available anymore, that's totally fine. Just thought I'd ask. Thank you, Mads." Well, first of all, Mads, welcome to the Chuckle Bus.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you probably won't hear this for quite some time, unless you're like, well, I sent this guy's an email, so like I'm gonna listen to new shit. But I'm gonna listen to the little beginning and see if I'm emailing. And if you're doing that, that's fine.
Yeah.
We also, if you were wanting to get concurrent with the journey, but like also want to go back, but you also want to listen to new episodes, you want to live in 2 timelines, which the Chuckle Bus supports. 2 timelines,
totally does.
Minimum. We don't know. It may be more. We've only seen two timelines.
It is a nexus. It's a nexus bus, so it can go all over the timeline. So it's fine.
The Chuckle Bus's potential is not limited. It's only limited by the potential of the people that use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like it you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to brag. I've only gotten 2 timelines on the Chuckle Bus. You know what I'm saying? So like if you got more, share that trick with me. But so we wound up posting that very early to the blog. Which was converted over to turtleshoopshow.com, which is where you can still find all those posts, and it's in like blog format. We literally made like the website where it literally like was the blog but stable, and it was ours instead of bloggers. So that's all there. You might be able to still find the old blogger, but it hasn't been updated in 100 years.
Yeah,
it may be on there somewhere. If you were to find an ancient version, I would first check out the website, go back, like start and look through and see. I have a very firm memory of posting it. It may be unavailable now. It may not link may not follow. Or you can go back and check the old blogger, like Blogspot, TMNT, like Turtle Soup, and see if you see it there.
If I'm not mistaken, I think we still have it somewhere. I think I saw it the other day when I was
We
messing
have it.
around. So
Yeah.
we have it. So we can try to find a way to get it available for.
It's
for
our
y'all.
it's our yeah it's our broad strokes journey. But what happened was like there was so much little stuff, and when we started actually like having to do more than like say like because Mads, you're early in the podcast, like we just had like, all right, it's Mirage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's a cartoon. Like when we actually started having to like consider the multiple like when we had to activate the Chuckle Bus's extra nexus, extra dimensionality,
Right.
we had to figure that out. We wound up making more of a like bullet point list that we would like interleave with itself, and like it got all crazy because the spreadsheet like left to right of the timeline didn't really like it wasn't granular enough for us.
Right.
So we still had that master, but we've kind of been going off the bullet pointed list for like a really long time behind the curtain. But check those out, and like hit us back up if you don't find it on there. Then maybe we could try to share it with everybody or whatever. But but yeah, thanks for joining up though, man. I mean, thanks for getting
absolutely.
on the Chuckle Bus, buddy.
Yeah. The hero's journey.
I hope you know what the Chuckle Bus is.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, what's he talking about?
He's probably got about 252, 3, 4 episodes before you find out about the Chuckle Bus. But yeah.
So our other two emails are both of mysterious origin again. Everyone.
Oh goodness.
So this one comes from. Let me just double check this and see. But I believe it is tsoupsun@gmail. If you're interested.
Is that SON or SUN?
It's from our. I'll let you hack that and figure it
out.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. We have an email from our purported future son, Nickelodeon, writing from the future.
Ow.
That says,
okay.
On episode 253, you asked, "What's so special about your dad?"
We did.
His answer is, one of them carried me for 9 months and the other one nursed me. Also, there is no favorite dad when there are two dads. But your grandson, Nick Jr., does have a favorite granddad. Your future son.
What?
Nickelodeon. It's so weird when you get emails from the future.
Yeah.
And our tinfoil hat correspondent is actually the one that told us about Nickelodeon, and now Nickelodeon is now writing his own emails, which is
right.
Which
yeah.
Is, and is a father himself in the future, which is
his son Nick.
I wasn't
Jr.
ready for that step, frankly. Nick Jr. Yeah.
Oh.
So I mean, the thing about future internet files is that you don't know who carried the baby and who nursed.
That's true.
What are your odds on that? Which one of us do you think carried Nickelodeon, and which one of us do you think gave of their teat?
I can tell you precisely who gave from their teat, and that would be me, because that's the only nipples that that baby could find. Because your boy has like 0.00001 nipples. Like he's got.
There's
two
a
of them.
negative space for nipples. I've got them.
Yes, and
I have two. They are visible.
Yeah.
Without the aid of scientific equipment.
Right.
Like a magnifying glass or a microscope of some kind.
Yeah.
They are visible, but they are the smallest nipples I guarantee that you've ever seen.
Right. Exactly. I guarantee it.
Eric, meanwhore, has David Duchovny dinner plates.
Mine overlap.
That are.
So
yeah,
like that's how big mine
yours.
are.
Your chest looks like a Venn diagram. I don't know what's going on. There you go. I got him hurting, everybody. I got him hurting. But
goodness.
yeah. Eric's is a Venn diagram, and in the middle, it's like basically pitch black. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. I obviously had to have carried him. Oh
yeah,
Eric. Oh my God, dude. This starting to make more sense because like when you carry a baby to term, like like women that carry babies are always like, oh my back. Like you can't carry a baby.
I couldn't. I'm too broken. That's true.
You throw your back out sneezing one time. You know what I'm saying?
I practically did last Thursday. Yeah.
All because of that drop kick. That drop kick at a hardcore
that one drop kick.
And
yes.
One drop kick destroyed your life, and I would have to be the back that bears that child. I feel like you can't.
Indeed.
Also, I've got birthing hips.
You
as
do.
well.
You totally do. You get that
I
everywhere
feel like
we
you
go.
Don't necessarily have.
Like we go to
yeah,
like
for sure.
every restaurant we go to, they're like they bring it up somehow. Like I don't know.
List of like top 2 things that happened to me in public that I'm asked. One, can you reach this for me? Which happened at Aldi the other day, which I always love that. I'm always like, oh hell yeah, I'll grab that for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to be of use. The other thing is like, how about them birthing hips?
Yeah.
It's come up in job interviews. It's everywhere. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so I guess Nickelodeon, thank you for having a grandchild for us.
Yeah, thanks.
And I mean, I guess we'll find out who his favorite granddad is, because
hopefully,
like, that's unknowable.
So
the last one.
One more.
The last email, yes.
All right.
The last thing you see in your little pamphlet is from the tinfoil hat correspondent.
Oh goodness.
It reads. It has a quote that I wrote last week. It says, "Woe be upon us, Turtletarians, as due to unforeseen health issues, tonight's Turtle Soup Live will be postponed until next Thursday. Sad face." What we received in response was, "What are these unforeseen health issues? Ryan, has Eric been taken? Was it Babs or Oprah? Did you exposed a dark secret? Have you paid the ransom?"
Goodness. And that's it? That's all it says?
Your tinfoil hat correspondent. Now, I mean, I don't know how much I could speak to this, but Eric was taken on a trip.
I was indeed.
It could have been Babs or Oprah.
I don't know which is worse.
One of them were probably accounted for when it happened.
Probably.
You could say we expose a lot of dark secrets on this show, and I'm at no liberty to disclose whether any money was paid or anything like that.
Not yet, but it will be.
Eric's got my resignation letter in his desk.
I do.
He's lording over me, so I can't really say much. But
oh man!
But that is all. That is that.
Woo.
Thank you so much, tinfoil hat correspondent. Thank you to our son, future son Nickelodeon, and your boy Mads for emailing in. We love emails. And Jono, like I said, baby bird, gotta wait a second. You know what I'm saying? Baby bird, gotta wait.
We'll get there. So,
but that is emails.
Yeah. So, guys, still feel free to send in your emails. And like we've said, we're working on getting another segment for the show that's going to be its own separate thing for emails. So if we don't get to your email specifically, we probably put it in the bank, and that we're going to get back to it and have its own dedicated thing to where we're not like having to do a million things and kind of skirt the emails if we have to or whatever. so that way it gets its due. So again, thank you so much to everyone who emailed us, and we sincerely appreciate it.
For sure. Next up, Eric.
Next up,
there's a little bit of news.
News. They're there. What? Hello. Welcome to
This
Turtle
week
News. Oh.
In Turtle News. Totally terrifying tax fraudalingus.
Oh my goodness.
On Tuesday, June 1st, a complaint was filed in Manhattan Federal Court against Viacom Incorporated by former Vice President of Financial Planning and Analysis, Nikita Williams. Did you get that name?
Nikita
Williams?
Yes, I got it. I wrote it down.
Keep that name in your head.
Got it.
Okay.
It's in there.
In the complaint, Williams alleges that she was fired in April of 2014 during maternity leave.
Woo.
After Viacom ignored her objections to its plan the prior year to transfer the rights for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to a Netherlands-based entity with the intent to avoid a substantial U.S. tax burden.
Goodness,
Williams
that sounds horrible.
Now, wow. Oh, it's terrible. You ready for more news?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time processing that.
Williams details that while the actual licensing work was always handled in New York, Viacom arranged for minor work to be done in the Netherlands to make it appear as though the contracts were handled outside the U.S. In addition, the complaint alleges that Viacom planned to sell the rights to other children's characters they own, such as Dora the Explorer and SpongeBob SquarePants, to the same Netherlands entity in a scheme that her bosses claimed would save millions of dollars in taxes.
Oh, I was thinking you were going to say of millions of people, but you're talking about dollars and taxes. Okay, so yeah, that's not.
The suit itself finds Miss Williams suing her former employer under federal Sarbanes-Oxley and Dodd-Frank laws as she seeks reinstatement with Viacom and back pay, as well as additional pay if she is not reinstated. Would you hire someone back that sued you? Viacom officially stated reason for terminating Ms. Williams during her maternity leave after more than 6 years with the company was, quote, fraudulently claiming company benefits to which she was not entitled. Alleging that Williams falsely completed her health benefits paperwork to list her child's father as a spouse when he was not. For her part, Williams contests this conclusion, saying that Viacom caused the error and that she had held herself out as single on the benefits documents. Williams' attorney told reporters that she, quote, experienced hostility when she opposed this proposed tax dodge and was subjected to a transparently trumped-up reason for her firing. And further, that Miss Williams was actually fired in retaliation for her internal whistleblowing of an unlawful tax avoidance scheme that would have saved Viacom millions. Viacom, in an official statement, claimed that Miss Williams' claims were completely without merit, and we will vigorously defend against these claims in court.
Oh man,
Back to you, Eric.
That's a lot to take in, Ryan. Goodness. So, oh my lord. So again, short note, like short abridged version. Someone who works for Viacom finds out the bad stuff's happening, and they're on pregnancy leave. They whistleblow. Viacom fires them, or somehow in that, and then now she wants to go back and be with them again.
So the lawsuit, the reason we're finding out about the tax fraud allegation, is because Nikita Williams is suing Viacom in Manhattan court for wrongful termination. Like her case and in her complaint, she lists the reason for her wrongful termination was because she objected to this tax fraud scheme, and she is seeking reinstatement, back pay, and apparently more money if they decide to not hire her back.
Oh,
now,
right.
This occurred years and years ago, so we're just kind of getting this out now.
Okay.
But yeah, she was fired on maternity leave, and Viacom's statement is that it's because she had somehow like filled out her health benefits paperwork wrong, and had been, I guess, getting benefits for her spouse, quote unquote, who was just the child's father, not a married, like not a spouse, not like a legal spouse.
Right.
She says that on the paperwork, she never listed him, much less listed him as a spouse, and that she said that she was single. Now she was with Viacom for like over 6 years.
Yeah.
And they let her go during maternity leave for this reason. Now, obviously, there's, you could speculate, but what comes out of the Dodd-Frank laws about termination and about unlawful termination, what comes out in this suit, though, is this tax avoidance scheme that Viacom was working out. And the way that a lot of these kind of contracts, the way that a lot of this works is, if you do any work in the United States, you are supposed to pay like taxes on all of that, like business taxes on all that stuff you're doing.
Okay.
But if the entity that, say, is doing this work, which is what is alleged, is that they formed lack of better words, a shell company. You know what I'm saying? Overseas. That the plan was to take the Turtles. Now, this is all prior to the TMNT film, the Michael Bay film coming out.
Oh, okay.
The Platinum Dunes film. So this potentially reaches not only into, obviously, like into the 2012 series that Nickelodeon had, but all of the franchising stuff, all of the licensing. So any kind of like merch, any things like that. It could go as far as like, potentially like it could affect anything. IDW, it could affect the Platinum Dunes film, all this different stuff. But they were trying, the allegation is that they were trying to transfer the property to this Netherlands-based firm to make it appear as if the work was done overseas, and then it wouldn't be taxable. Like, So I guess the revenue that was made off of these like licensing deals would not be applicable to federal tax.
Right.
You know.
So some shady. It's some shady stuff, but like chief among those,
it's some shady stuff.
Like that aside, letting go of someone while they're pregnant and on much even more on leave to have said pregnancy or to fulfill it. That just in poor taste. And I don't think that the Ninja Turtles or anyone I don't even think the Foot Clan would stoop that low, to be honest with you, Ryan. Like, I think that we might be dealing. Man. Like, I don't want to speak ill of anyone because we don't know all the facts. We just have some news reportings, and like you said, this is older stuff.
Yeah,
but it is something that
I mean, this is an allegation. It's an allegation against Viacom for this charge.
But it's very
not even
serious.
For tax fraud,
right?
Just for the firing thing. So
yeah,
the big question I think that we're going to be looking at is, do we see federal charges or any kind of investigation before a federal charge into Viacom, which I guarantee you is already happening.
Right.
Right now, news is just really light on this, but the fact that this came out means that the arm of justice, as far as like the IRS and stuff like that, is going to be looking like deeply into Viacom's operations. Because the one thing that does not get disclosed, because Viacom won't speak about it, is what is the current state of the TMNT. Are they? Or the other properties, Dora the Explorer, SpongeBob, all these like Viacom, like Nickelodeon held properties? Did they wind up getting transferred to the Netherlands? Because this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like this is like 2016. This is like they've had time like to do this. Yeah. So have they been reaping this tax benefit, this shelter? How many years has this been going on? Did they fire her for calling it out, but then wind up not carrying through on the plan? I don't know.
There's a lot of unanswered questions.
It's a big allegation, and the truth is the way that the courts work is that I wouldn't be surprised if Viacom filed a countersuit and a counterclaim against her for like libel and stuff like that, because like those are gigantic allegations. That's not like they fired me. It's not like any other kind of like wrongful termination suit where you're going to say, well, like the suit is they caused me like unjust harm when they released me during maternity leave because of the reason they said. I'm saying it's for a different reason. I'm saying I was single on the paperwork. They say I put my child's father, but I didn't.
Right.
That's a wrongful termination suit.
Right.
This is a whole nother can of worms as far as like what they're saying. Like it goes deep as hell. It's and there could be a counterclaim because Viacom is not going to take that lying down because the headlines don't read "woman wrongfully terminated." And she says because she was a whistleblower. Right. The headline reads tax fraud at the core of the TMNT property. It's Viacom's fault. Like that's what the headlines that's what's being said. And in those situations, that's when you have to really look out for that counterclaim. I would not be surprised if they filed it. If she loses this case, I could see them seeking damages from her and stuff like that as well. Yeah, absolutely. So she must. So from my angle, and just kind of see what you think of it. I think she has to have a pretty rock solid claim. To come out with all of that in the complaint. And that's how we know about it, by the way. If you've noticed, the lawyer in the quote spoke a little bit about the tax fraud, only as far as that his client was terminated for the whistleblowing, not for the paperwork. That was trumped up. That was not real. Right. But he mainly speaks about the wrongful termination. But the reason we know about all this, and all the reporting, is because it's all in the complaint. Right. It's there.
Public record.
It's not insinuated. It's laid out what the scheme was. So they must feel like they have a great case.
Yeah, because for those who might not be aware, a lot of times an attorney, you go in for a consultation and they'll review the facts or what they have, the information that you're giving them and what they can verify. And if they don't feel like it's a good case or it's going to be a losing thing, then they're more than likely not going to take you on as a client. It's not like you could just go in and tell them, hey, I'm hiring you to do this. Like, it has to be like a mutual agreement to where they feel confident that they can at least get some movement in this realm of whatever you're going
unless
through.
You have a ton of money. Unless you literally have so much money that you hire them and say, defend me.
That is true.
Or make this case.
That is true. But generally speaking, most average people don't have that.
Especially, someone in like this woman's position is looking for a settlement,
right?
And does not have funds now. So this is probably pro bono work on the part of her attorney,
right? And so that and any good attorney, which attorneys, they have to know their stuff. Like they have to pass a bar, and they have to retake it every once in a while, and they get challenged on a lot of stuff. So like that, generally speaking, they're gonna know what they're doing. And so if this was just like nothing, like if it didn't have any solid ground under
merit, if it was like, well, I said, and they said, and you're like, where's your proof? And they're like, I said it.
If it's all just hearsay, then
granted, like they'll also kind of let anyone be a lawyer sometimes. Like obviously not all lawyers are created equal.
Right.
I haven't personally looked into her lawyer or like what his deal is, but like in a pro bono situation like this, they're more than likely not going to take this case unless they think they can actually win because there's settlement on the line. Yeah. You see a lot of and there's no politics involved. That's the other thing. During this last election, you saw in America, you saw a lot of like court cases brought about votes and stuff like that, and you may remember that from the news.
Yeah.
A lot of times those court cases are brought with some they want to like question rulings, and they want to do, and that's different stuff. Obviously, the people involved politically have a lot of money to fund that. Yeah. So when you look at, say, a thing like that, you go, well, these lawyers that are going up there, more than likely, like, they may believe or not believe these claims, but they're being paid to go to court and make the case, right? But it's a little different when you involve something like this, for example.
Right.
Because the only motivation for the attorney to take the case is to win the settlement for the client, right? Like to take his or her fee from that settlement. Right. That's why you see a lot of, because Eric and I both work in legal stuff, so we know a lot about this stuff. But like, that's why you see a lot of times, the classic like personal injury lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like personal injury lawyer, like, I mean, they'll probably take your case, because personal injury is pretty open and shut. Like, I got hit by a car, now I'm hurt. Guys, like, I'll take the case because they win those. You know what I mean? So you're right to say that, and that's actually one of the most interesting parts of this is that there's a lot. There probably has to be something here. Allegations in a complaint like that. I mean, I would love. I mean, you're not going to see it because it's not public. This part's not going to be public. The complaints are public.
Right.
Can you imagine the production in this case? Like, what her counsels are going to produce and what they're going to want Viacom to produce, because if there's email exchanges on this, dude,
my God, it's there's a paper trail,
and that's what I feel exists somewhat.
Well, now
I feel like it almost has to.
But like, speaking of things that definitely do exist, do you think that are the Turtles going to have to get any representation for this? Like, do you think that they're going to need to lawyer
very
up?
True.
Because I feel like it might be in their best interest just to have it in their back pocket. That way they got it, that way they have it. And
would it I
don't know.
Who would it be though?
That's what I'm wondering. So the Turtles and we've talked about this on before, but but it's come up a lot more recently in kind of, I don't want to say nerd fandom, but like more like superhero conversations, if you will, about Nexus beings, thanks to the WandaVision television show and the eventual Doctor Strange stuff. They talk about Nexus beings, which are beings that can exist in multiple timelines, and they're pretty much the same being. They just they're not like you and I, like the average person, you know. And so when it comes to different timelines and multiverses, so I feel like the Turtles, given the fact that they are so they can just team up with anybody. Like they teamed up with Batman a lot recently, the Ghostbusters, and Savage Dragon. Like a lot of they jump around from property to property. They can do all kinds of stuff. So I feel like there's no real like legality that's going to keep them from getting anybody. Their pick of the litter from the superhero community, because I feel like they would need a superhero attorney to take their case. You know what I'm saying?
Would it be a conflict of interest to just go ahead and have it be Murdoch? Like
Matt
like,
Murdock?
I feel yeah. Like is there a conflict of interest there?
Maybe considering
with how close the origin comes.
Considering
you know
that,
saying? Like,
but considering that,
do they want to mess with that, or like?
Well, I'm thinking
are they kind of like,
I'm thinking that if they've never talked to Matt Murdock before and they had no recollection of one another or knowledge of one another, then like they upon meeting each other, I'm assuming that any rational human being would want to know. Now, granted, Matt Murdock is blind, quote unquote, so he might not. But he should still know that they're not normal human beings.
Man, like Daredevil, dude, like that power creep. Your boy Matt's got like sonar vision. Dude.
So he's gonna know. He's gonna know something's up.
He'll tap his cane 2 times until there's 4 turtles all there because his hearing is so great. I mean, like,
right.
Like there's nothing that these guys can't do.
So he would probably be like, want to know how they got their origins, and he'd say that, oh, there was this kid that was walking from a pet store, and then he would start to realize this sounds a little familiar. I think
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that sounds like my store. Yeah, so there might be a conflict of interest there. There's room for that argument. So
yeah.
So barring Matt, who would you choose for the Turtles liaison? What do you think?
Harvey Birdman.
You son of a! That was my back pocket.
It has to be Harvey Birdman.
I am equally mad and proud that you brought up Harvey Birdman, because Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, is near and dear to my heart. And if you haven't seen that show, it's fantastic and it's just glorious. But yes, I was going to say the same thing, but not thinking that you were going to say that. However, since you said that,
he would be kind of the Johnny. So maybe they're aiming a little high because he would be like the Johnny Cochran of like fictitious lawyers a little bit. Like
right.
you gotta like. You might not be able to afford Harvey Birdman.
That's
you know what I'm saying. Like they
true.
might not have that scratch.
Right. But the fun thing about Harvey Birdman is that you're rolling the dice. The odds are in your favor, but you're still rolling the dice because you don't know. Yeah. You don't know what's going to happen, especially if you get in any of his judges, because they're insane. And so that's even more of a gamble. But I don't know. What about Jennifer, was it Walters? Isn't that She-Hulk's
yeah,
isn't that her last name? Yeah. So she's an attorney, a well-accomplished attorney. She also is green, so there's some solidarity there. And to as far as like being different and having people not like just kind of look at you and be like, green is a weird color, but you know what?
Do you think because of the Batman universe, do you think like they could like go back to like the 80s or something and like wedge in some Harvey Dent before he became Two-Face? Like, you know, he's still like he's a prosecutor. You're like, all right, like look, like I need you. And you look like, what time is it? Okay, cool. You won't have your fucking accident until like for a minute. So like, so we're gonna yeah. You need to help us out, because I feel like Dent would bring it in. I feel like Harvey Dent would make it happen.
Are you talking about Billy D. Williams? Are you talking about Tommy Lee Jones? Or are you talking about the animated series Batman?
Animated series.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could be talking about Christopher Nolan's Harvey Dent. I could be talking about that too.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name to save my life.
I can't either.
Oh, I know. I can see his face. Well, I can see his 2 faces.
Me too. Anyways, so it's an interesting story. Like I will definitely keep up with it as it develops. I think that I'm very interested to hear about production and stuff like that. I don't know, but I mean, it turns out that when you when you make it really easy for companies to do things like tax shelter and stuff like that, Ryan's rounding thoughts on this is that you can't be surprised when companies try to do it. Like,
yeah,
like you can't like, what? Because the only thing that Viacom, if this is true, if they attempted this or did this for a minute, or they're still doing it, who knows? The only thing they're guilty of is not finding the means to do what they did legally. Like, it can still be done. Like, they have not paid the right congressman. They have not done something like that to make this kind of tax burden relievable.
right.
If we lived in a country or we lived in a world where this was unheard of and this was like the crime of the century, then I would be like, oh crap, that's insane.
Yeah.
But it sounds like these companies forego all kind of tax burden they should have anyway, because of a lot of legal loopholes around it. So if Viacom's guilty of anything, they're guilty of going off the trail of tax, the relief of tax burden. They went off into the side trail to pee, and then they got lost. That's in my opinion the only thing that they're guilty of, because you set up a situation where companies are looking to do this all the time, and they're rarely brought to heel for it.
Right. And so yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the news, Ryan. And yeah, that's it for the news. All right. So we're back. Goodness. So yeah.
90%, 9 out of 10 odds my wife trips on one of these pieces of paper I threw.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, not for like pain's
trips,
sake,
but to do a banana peel like a slip.
Right. Yeah. Or like a Mario Kart. That's even better if a person just spins around, like, so they don't get hurt. They just Woo!
I think like 2 of those landed in my laundry hamper, so I feel like
that counts.
I feel like I'll be pulling one of those out of my rear end at some point.
That's
like, I just imagine, like,
honestly, I thought that's where they came from to begin with.
Close to go through the wash, and then you're just like, in like line somewhere, and you're like, something's like, page 3 of the news.
Yep, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's what life do to you.
Yep.
Anyway, are you ready to hop into today's feature presentation?
I think so. I'm super nervous, but I've been nervous this whole episode. So yeah, let's do it.
How much would you give to have one more night where you grab like cheap Cuban sandwiches from like the grocery store, rent some VHS movies, put them on, get yourself a drink, and watch it say feature presentation while you're eating your sandwich?
Oh, that would be
your like lukewarm soda.
That would be amazing. That's right around the corner, though, isn't it? Because we're about to be in we're about to get back into normality. Like the theaters and stuff are opening up, right? Do they not say that in front of? Oh, I see what you're saying.
No.
You're talking about movie rental. You're talking about. I'm talking about the home experience.
I'm talking about home, where you watch the trailers, because that little thing comes up. I can see it in my head now. Feature presentation.
Right. See that
like seriously, that's what we did when we were kids. Like we used to go, like my friends' parents. We go to like Winn-Dixie or something. We grab like sandwiches. They're like the deli sandwiches. They're like Cuban sandwiches, and we bring them back to the house. You had that. You had like 1 cup of like lukewarm soda that had to last you like all night, and you would like put that VHS on, and it'd be like feature presentation. You'd be like, I'm right exactly where I want to be right now.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I think the reason why I was kind of like a little thrown off by it is because I was always terrified of the TriStar intro with the Pegasus.
With the Pegasus?
Yeah, that still freaks me out to this day. Like I know I've talked about
it because it looks so real.
It could be that.
It was like a matte painting or something or whatever. It looked like really like 3D.
And it's coming at you. And so,
did that freak you out?
Yeah, it freaked me out. Now we've talked about this before on the show, but for those who have forgotten, and since you brought it up, the intro to things like that, like the Orion thing didn't bother me. The Universal thing was a little weird. The Lion, the MGM thing, no problem. Like I could do that. However, credits used to freak me out, but Marvel's kind of like skewed me away from that, where it's like, oh, there's an end credit scene. That's cool. However, if it gets to the very end of the tape, like, oh, that's right. We did talk about this, because I think that what it is that at the end of the Masters of the Universe 87 live action film, Skeletor comes up. And I think that scared scared me and intrigued me at the same time. So I loved it, but I was also terrified of it. And it's made me like subconsciously be terrified of the ending of everything. And so, yeah, there we go. But
that is really interesting. I remember my buddy's VCR in his room had like, it was like really old. Like it was like his parents' old one, and they got a new one. So it was like a top loader. Like,
oh, okay.
Like it was a top loader from like the beginning of VHS, and I remember it had terrible tracking issues, and when you reach the end of the tape, Eric, that thing had this like click followed by like a deep thunk inside its like inner workings.
Oh goodness,
that would scare the shit out of us every time. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like we watched movies on this thing every like Friday night. Like so.
Right.
You knew it was coming, but the credits would come on, and we start talking about the movie during the credits with the music, like, oh yeah, no, I like this scene, I like that scene, and then we wouldn't notice the music fade out. All of a sudden, click, boom, we'd be like, oh shit, and then it auto rewound.
Yeah.
And the rewinder, it would get so like crazy, and like the spools would start jumping around. You had to stop it, like, or it would like tear the tape up. So it would auto rewind, but its motors were so bad on the rewind that like you had to take the VHS out or it'd eat it.
Goodness.
So it'd be a click and a thunk, us jumping off the bed scared, and then we'd have to like run and like usually it was my friend that would get there first. Right. And he like collapse onto the VCR and like hit the eject button, the thing would pop up like bing, and we'd be like, okay, good.
Right.
Because if it was a rental and it got ate up, like
then you're
that would suck, and his parents get really mad. So like we ate it up like one time, and his parents were like,
never again.
Scary mad about it.
Yeah.
They're like scary mad. I was like, oh.
Did they make y'all put your hand in there to be like, this is how serious it is? Like
you know it feels, you know. But like, I mean it still would get a little ate up, but we could like pull it out and repair it. But like one time, I mean, it ate one and tore it. Ooh. And it was like a brand new release or something. And like his parents had to pay like whatever, like $70, $80 or something. And they were
because the way that you would think it would be like $10, but no, it's the way that movie rental stuff was back then. They leased the movies or something like that. That was
you replaced the copy, and it was like $80.
Yeah.
And like that's a tangent.
That is a tangent.
This article is a stub. This article is a stub. Move on.
But
you can help make it better by adding citations and sections.
Well, speaking of sections, we're going to move on to this next section, Ryan, and that is something that I didn't even know existed until a couple of weeks ago. So you ready for this?
No. So we talked about getting down in your town and about how like we may have known about it. Like I kind of had memories of it. You didn't really, but then when you saw it, you were more like whatever. Right. Yeah, Mystery of the Cliffs, like we were like, excuse me.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's one of the weirdest. Like it all came together here, Eric.
It did.
Why and how?
Yeah. So this is so I did a search because we got into the bag of tricks, and I'm like, before we go any further, let's take a look and make sure that there's nothing else that we need to cover or for the time being. And I found two things. This is the first thing that I found. No. This is the second thing that I found. The first thing we're going to cover next week, and it's a doozy too. So yeah, this is the Mystery of the Cliffs. It was a 1992 VHS video commissioned by the United States Bureau of Land Management, and it was intended to introduce children to the concept and importance of caretaking of our country's national resources, national and natural resources, and heritage sites. So like anything that, was from the time before America was here, like just any antiquated thing that was here before we came and stole the land. And, it's very, very puzzling, and we're going to get into a lot of this, but I just want to preface this. If you haven't watched it yet, you can go to our YouTube channel, Find the link in there for this episode, or the teaser trailer that we throw out for each episode. The links are in there. Watch this thing. It's like 20 minutes or so. I forget, 20, 30 minutes, somewhere in there. I'm just going to cut ahead a little bit. It has the voice cast of the animated series. It has the suits of and we might get into this more into the notes, but I just wanted to preface this. The suits of the Coming Out of Their Shells tour, like the actual suits that they were on Oprah with and on Regis with. And it features music from movie 1.
Your boy John Dupree.
Yes.
Like
dun, dun,
John Dupree's
dun,
music.
Dun. Yeah.
Yeah, like the credits for this are stupid. Like at the end, when you read the credits, you're like, John Dupree, they thank Bob Bahan for the suits and stuff. Yep. You've got the animated series, the 87 animated series voice cast by name.
Who do fantastic.
And you're like, what is happening? Like, here? Yeah. Like, it all comes together here.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. It's a fever dream, but it actually happened, and we're going to get into it. So we open up on a desert scene, and the turtles are talking about how there's no water around. Donnie informs them about how cacti have water inside of them, and that you can drink. It's potable. And,
I'll live here. There's this cactus, and you got the water in the cactus. And Rabbit's like, yeah, but like, I ain't drinking no cactus.
Right? Yeah. And as we know, as Turtletarian and most Turtletarians who've been along on the journey with us know, the turtles have a very interesting history with cactuses, or cacti, if you will. I think the last time, I can't remember
didn't have no dead ass barehanded cactus poacher in this show, but I mean he's around.
He's here somewhere.
Is the domestic Danny of the domestic Danny of the deserts.
Of the deserts. Cat.
So you gotta watch out for him.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for him. But thankfully he doesn't show up. At least we don't know that we know of yet. So they decide to set up camp before Splinter gets there. Raph wants Leo to do some sort of info dump about like why they're here, and he's kind of like, "Come on, Leo, remind us why we're here." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Why did the master send us here?
Right, and it's very heavy-handed. Mikey makes a Pony Express joke about delivering pizza and how how the pioneers did it. And if you don't know, the Pony Express was a mail service delivering messages, newspapers, and mail using relays of horse-mounted riders that operated from April 3rd, 1860 to October 26th, 1861 between Missouri and California in the United States of America. So there you go. There's a little bit of history for you. They're also.
I'm about those fact dumps.
Those facts, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's life.
You gotta mix the cherry with the lime.
Later replaced by my favorite method of mail delivery.
Yeah.
Just after, which was mail delivery by train. When they used to have like the huge poles, they had a gigantic pole by the the train tracks with a huge hook on it, and the people they would throw a bag of mail meant for that town like onto the hook at speed
as the train,
which is my favorite thing that's ever happened. Yeah, like, that's the best thing that ever happened. Having that job had to be badass.
It had to.
You're just like one of two dudes in the back of a train car, the caboose, like timing up that hook, like watch this one, man. So good.
Yeah, I love that.
I bet you it landed on the hook like dead ass like 5 times the whole time you did it. It probably landed on the ground, tumbled like a tumbleweed, and like Miss Martha's mail went like out into the desert somewhere. I guarantee.
Somewhere. Absolutely. So but anyway, where are we at? Okay, so Leo makes a claim that he's not a tape recorder, Ryan, and we just spoke about tape recorders. Well, VHS. He's speaking more about the cassette audio cassettes. But Leo's getting a little salty here, and so rightfully so, because yes, he is the leader and he should be aware of things. But Raphael knows he's just being a smartass. So Mikey says he's gonna have to make their own pizza like the pioneers did. And now I wanted to ask you, Ryan, because you're well versed in all things America. So did the pioneers have pizza? Was that a thing?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I might be wrong here. I believe that like the pioneers, especially out west in the time that they're talking about, mainly ate like I mean they had a lot of like Mexican food,
right,
and a lot of that kind of stuff, because like that, like, you know, like beans and different stuff like grew out there well.
mm-hmm.
Like you gotta remember, like they were having to eat things that came from like dry areas.
Oh,
Right?
right.
Like things that could live in dry climate, which Mexican food, you know, spoiler alert, everything that is in Mexican food can grow in a drier climate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So they ate a lot of that because that was also just naturally wildly growing, like wild rice and stuff growing like up the western part of the United States.
Right.
Stuff like tomatoes are babies. Like tomatoes need like all the fresh soil and all the cool, all the water to actually happen.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they had pizza. Now they could have had Mexican pizza.
Okay.
Because that probably was a real thing.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, they had they the closest thing they probably had were things like quesadillas.
Okay. Yeah.
What we would know of as a quesadilla, which is like a flat tortilla on a flat grill top, which they could put on top of a fire. So like a like either like a wrought iron pan or even like rocks that were nearby warmed up.
Right.
And now we use you know the pizza stones, and we're like, pizza stone,
right.
But you know, back in the day, like they were like, oh, you mean hot stone? That's how I cook shit. Like, that was like the default.
Yeah,
They probably had what we would recognize as quesadillas, and I guess if you had one open faced, that could be a pioneer pizza.
I like it. I like that.
Back
and I think thank you. I think the Turtles would be down for that. That would be excellent. So anyway.
Oh yeah.
So Donnie says that he remembers what Splinter wanted them to come to why Splinter wanted them to come to the desert. But he wants Leo to recount it anyway. All these turtles are just
you tell it best, man.
Yeah, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. But Leo suggests that there's something mystical about this place. He says that Splinter said that it has to do, and this is where it starts getting good. It's they don't let you wait long. So
no.
Splinter said it has to do with their training in becoming three things, Ryan. Three things. We got it. Top three.
Top three.
Good turtles. It's number one.
Yes.
Good ninjas. It's number two.
The most important word in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Yes. The most important word in the TMT name.
And arguably two of the most best words of all time. Good Americans. That's why Splinter wanted the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, our heroes in a half shell, our green machine, turtle power, the ones we can count on because they told us that, to go out of their shells, to come to the desert, to become good turtles, good ninjas, and good Americans. There you are, folks. That's why we're here.
That sounds like somebody dead ass like forecasted the Papa John's slogan, but like changed it like before. They're like better pizza, better ingredients, better America.
Right.
You know, they're like, wait a minute, I feel like we could fix this. I like better turtles, better ninjas, better Americans.
There you go. That's perfect. Yep. Let's go home. Yeah,
we should have like sweaty Papa John Schnossenberger, whatever his name is, like going on a racist rant right nearby, and that'd just be perfect. That's all you need.
That's all you need. So so that's that. Raph says that
it makes sense though. So really, I hate to interrupt you again, really fast, but not to let the good Americans like slide by. Really, like we saw this theme in like coming out of their shells, getting down your town, the 4th of July fever dream.
Yeah, that's right.
That was pizza. That was Pizza USA.
Yeah.
And that was just nationalistic. Like Lee Greenwood was in the audience. Like they got me.
Right.
I mean, I'm proud to be American, but look at this shit.
True.
You know what I mean? Like Lee Greenwood gave Lee. You know it's bad when your boy Lee Greenwood in that era is like good game and like goes to shake your hand. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what happened. But this was funded by the Department of the Interior. Like this was like definitely. I feel like guy with sunglasses and dark suit on said you need to say this.
Oh, like, absolutely, 100%. Yes.
Here it is understood why they say that. Do you know what I mean? Unlike other times that the Turtles get weirdly nationalistic.
Yes, definitely.
Here it is like understood, like because guess who's paying for this? the U.S. government. That's
Right.
what they want you to do. Be a better American to our natural, like, historical surroundings. Like,
right.
yes.
Yes,
For sure.
I think, yeah, and I'm here for that. I like that because that makes makes sense. And even if you didn't agree with it, even if they were, if like the money trail was still there, but the message was a little weird, I still like it because it makes it you could follow the trail. Like you're like, oh, that's what it is. But like Pizza USA is not like there's no need.
That's yes. That Pizza USA is the fetishism.
Yes.
Of national pride that we have a big problem with in this country.
Yes.
Being a good American is what you should just do.
Now, real quick, before
that phrase alone is a good thing.
It is.
Like, be a good American.
Right.
Be a good Canadian. Be a good anybody. Like, be a good dude.
Well, we got to remember too. There's two other things. There's two other things on that list. Good turtle. I mean, I'm assuming that's the same thing as like a good person because they're turtles, so it's kind of their
correct.
So that's probably the same thing.
So good human.
Yes, or good
basically,
being.
Our analog.
Good being. Good being.
Yep.
Be a good being. Yeah, that works. A good ninja. I don't know how being a good ninja unless because ninja are all about being sneaky and not being seen. But when you're out in the desert, you don't have a lot of room to hide, unless unless you're a good ninja.
Well, and good ninjas leave no trace on their environment.
Ninja vanish.
Much like our important national historical landmarks.
Oh, good. Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's
no
good.
Trace.
No trace. I love it.
No trace.
Well, despite all this, Raphael says that this is boring and tells the other. And
you said his name. You said his name like he's in trouble.
Yeah, I did.
Raphael.
Raphael the Road Hamato. You need to because remember that was his name. Yeah, the Road's my middle name. I'm pretty sure his name. So
I'm so glad you got that. I'm so glad you got that because I said it. And I was like, oh, you might have trampled on it and not heard it.
Oh, I hate you. Ow. Okay. So.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love that you're laughing and it hurts.
Okay. Yeah, it hurts. So Raphael tells them this is boring, and he tells the others to pitch camp and takes off to check out, Ryan, the rest of the desert. Raphael is going to check out the rest of the desert, as you do. So yeah,
that's how you know someone doesn't want to be around you anymore.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna go check out the rest of the desert.
You remember that time that you're like hanging out with somebody, or you're having an argument with like a friend or a spouse or partner or whatever, and they're like, "I'm going outside," and then you realize when they open the door that it's just pouring.
Yeah. And
they must really not want to be here with me right now.
Absolutely.
They just dead ass went outside when it sucks. Like, that's basically what happened here. Raph's like, y'all pitch camp. I'm going to go walk the sandy ass desert. I might run into a barehanded cactus poacher man.
Right.
But I don't want to be here anymore.
No. I'd rather be anywhere else. Well, we cut to a scene of the stones from the beginning of the film. And then we cut to another scene where camp is pitched. And Mikey is impressed by the camp just by like, whoa, And then Donnie does a John Wayne impression. So that's Barry Gordon, right? Wasn't that
Yeah.
Wasn't that his name? Yeah, the voice actor for Donnie. Yeah. And I love him to death. I love all these voice actors to death. It's delightful hearing them do the voices.
It really works. It really works here. Like you don't realize you don't necessarily fully feel the impact of the upgrade in voice talent, until you get about here in this. I think
right,
and you start going with their interactivity. You're like, oh wow, that makes a huge difference. And that's not to criticize the people who did the voicing for coming out of their shells,
right?
But like, hate to say it, but like those people didn't have the time on target that these four individuals had in our ears for the animated series. These guys are just more like home.
Right.
Like these voices are more like being where you're supposed to be. And
absolutely.
It's really good.
Right. And to that point, the voice actors for coming out of their shells and getting down in your town and stuff, they are performance like stage actors, and like they are
for sure.
Which is a totally different thing than voice acting. But not to say that the voice acting cast from the cartoon couldn't do it. I have a feeling that if they I have a feeling, and this is where the subtlety is, that the talent is that which we saw kind of waver a little bit in the Oprah interview. When you have to perform like a beat on and improv and just like shoot from the hip, you got to be careful and watch what you say. And I have a feeling that the voice acting cast, like Ron Paulson, like that's his name, right? Yeah, Rob Paulson, not Ron. Rob Paulson. I knew that wasn't right. He I guarantee you he would say something like really inappropriate, or maybe not inappropriate, but like something might slip, like something that might not be no. Yeah, the bureau's not going to keep paying for that.
Those guys all had the inner secret Bob Saget in them.
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
All those guys have that,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Because Rob Paulson's kind of made some bread and butter, never being terribly crude. You know, he's not that kind of guy, but like not professionally, but like a lot of like the biggest like YouTube videos involving Rob Paulson is him reading like scripts from like mafia movies and like from like darker movies as like
characters,
kicking the brain and shit. It's like, you know what I mean? Like that's part of his whole thing. Like,
it is.
So yeah, and there are outtakes from the animated series that have been compiled, like where you hear them cursing and stuff. Like they had like pretty funny sense of humor that was not a kid's sense of humor. But you're right. If you had Rob Paulson up there in that costume.
Yeah, like, what's up, dude? Hey, how's it? Whoa. And then
yeah, exactly.
All kinds of horribleness would come out.
Your boy Raph might have said something else when he pieced out. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. But so I just wanted to say that, not to slight the voice actors, or the
of course
the Coots voice actors, because you know they might listen. Who knows? And you know whatever. But anyway, there's some differences in strengths in there. You are, and because I couldn't do it, because I'd be more in line with these guys where I'd say something horrible, as we do on the show. But nevertheless, Ryan,
inside that suit, I'd fall on my ass. I'd be like, yeah, what's up? Like that Oprah, I would have been passed out in that hot ass suit. Like, hey, look, the thing is, Oprah, I'd be like, hey, Oprah, oh, I don't feel so good. And I just like fall over. Like, yeah, I couldn't do that.
Right. So here, the Turtles are out. The camp is pitched. Raphael's somewhere.
Camp is pitched.
And Donatello decides to do a John Wayne impression, and it's interesting. He says, "Bring on the chuck wagon, Pilgrim." I can't do it. Can you do a John Wayne impression?
Bring on the chuck wagon, Pilgrim. It'll be a buffalo mozzarella and cactus pizza and plenty of sarsaparilla.
That was
the best I got.
That was pretty good. That wasn't bad off the cuff, off the hip. That was pretty good.
You got to take your time with John Wayne.
Yeah, you have to.
But it's like, bring on the chuck wagon, Pilgrim. Yeah, something like, you got to really
you got to milk it. Absolutely. But Donatello does a good job of it. That is what he says. Leo says that Raph's going to do the cooking because he didn't lift a finger to help pitch the tents, which, you know, if you're trying to pitch tents and someone doesn't lift a finger, then, you know, they do the cooking. That's how good Americans. Those are the rules that good Americans live by.
That's the rules for good American. That's true.
That is, yeah. So, goodness. So anyway, they let's see. They all start yelling for Raphael. Just yelling, and all of a sudden, coyotes start howling at the same time, and it freaks the turtles out. Which, like, I get it, like, but. You know, you would think they're from New York. They're used to hearing all kinds of sounds, and they're also living in the sewers, so therefore more sounds. And they're Ninja Turtles, like they've been fighting all kinds of. But yet the coyote like sound, it kind of freaks them out a little bit. Anyway,
well, I tell you what they really wouldn't have liked, and I can tell you this from living in front of the woods in Florida. Is you really then would not like the sound of them fighting, where they start to sound like dinosaurs.
What? I don't think I've heard that in real life.
They sound like the compiosaurs or whatever in Jurassic Park. They make this like I can't even do it. It's so high pitched, but it's this like chopping bird sound.
Yeah,
and that's them like fighting over their stuff.
Oh my lord!
And like fighting for dominance, and it's kind of terrifying.
Goodness.
Like in front of the dark woods that are kind of jungly anyway, because it's Florida, so there's always vines and jungle shit. Like hearing that through that in the dark, like I've often imagined, like what if that was just dinosaurs?
Yeah,
like
what
they
if?
sound
That'd be amazing.
totally different than the howling. Like the howling is a whole different sound from the sound they make when they fight. It's crazy. You like look it up online and listen to it. It makes you think there's like a dinosaur in the woods. It's crazy.
So we don't see a dinosaur in the woods, but we do see a cave dwelling in the stones on a hillside, and Donnie's the first one to call that out. Leo's like, it's not on the map. So that I remember. So like Leo's like thinking about his mental map of the desert. So this is where Donnie informs him that there's a lot of places like that. Leo responds with, "What do you mean by lotta?" And Donnie continues to say that some places have not been fully discovered. Mikey wants to go and discover it. But the others suggest that, it's like, Mikey, you don't get it. Raphael's probably already up there. Like that's more than likely where he's at. Yeah. Like that's what he went to do. He didn't want to pitch tents with us. He wanted to be up there. So they decide to head toward the dwelling on the cliffside just before it gets dark. Inside the the dwelling, we cut to the turtles using flashlights in a dark dwelling. They comment on how dark it is, but somewhat familiar, and jokes about how jokes are made about how it is being like home in the sewers because the sewers are dark and damp and kind of weird.
This is also where you actually weirdly first hear the da-na-na-na theme.
Yeah.
Even though the foot makes an appearance later, you hear it now.
Like
this is like the ominous cave section.
Mm-hmm. Hey. Yep. Hey, no, I'm not mad. I'm just saying.
Hey.
So they talk about how this feels like the sewers. They then come upon a cave drawing of a person on a horse, presumably. Leo and Mikey think that it's graffiti, and Mikey is about to add his own art to the wall, but Donnie is quick with the education on that, which has to be Donnie's Donnie has to have like the worst not fever dreams, but like the worst nightmares about like having to stop the other dudes from doing something reckless or stupid because of ignorance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Donnie,
Mikey's like, huh, now this guy's smoking a spliff, and he's like, that's a historic cave painting. You know what I mean? Like, imagine. I'm with you.
Yes. So
like they're probably like at the Louvre, and like Mikey's like, huh, who's this chick? She looks like a dude. Better draw a mustache. And Donnie's like, that's the Mona Lisa. It's one of the most famous paintings. You know what I mean? Like there has to be like a lot of those moments.
It could be why Splinter gave him the bow staff because it has reach, so that he can swat the turtles' hands to keep them from doing stuff.
Can you imagine, dude? Like the European vacation, Donnie probably had to like not sleep.
You mean the season
for like the whole like month they were there? Yeah, that season. Like
yeah.
He had to just not sleep.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like Mikey'd be like, "Oh man, what is this? The Royal Crown Jewels? I'm gonna pee on it." And he's like, "Don't do that.
Don't do
that.
Like
what?
You don't.
And and Raph's like, "Oh, I guess I'll just I don't know. I don't even know what they would do. He's like, "Oh, who's this Pope guy? I'm gonna cut up his little hat." And he's like,
right.
"Don't."
Yeah.
I'm running out of you put me on the spot. Well, I put myself on the spot.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I didn't
things
do
they
that.
could do in Europe that would be weird, and now this article is a stub.
Well, they all try to look up and take pictures of the Sistine Chapel, so he has to keep hitting them like that, their heads, to keep their heads down. But then it's like whack-a-mole because they're turtles, so their heads go into their shell. It's a whole thing. So anyway, so they're in here. They see their artwork on the wall.
Well, wait, Michelangelo would have gotten really confused then.
Oh, absolutely, because he's like, I painted this.
In particular. He'd be like,
I did this.
He'd be like, take my name out your mouth. I didn't paint that. And he'd be like, no, take my name out your mouth. And Donnie's like, come on, come with me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So they're in the cave. They see the cave drawings, and Donnie's like, hey, this isn't graffiti. These are drawings, and I think it's petroglyphs. Petroglyphs. Yeah,
petroglyphs.
Which is a prehistoric cave carving. Mikey makes a joke about how their parents must be pissed because it never came off the wall, which is hilarious. Which, real quick,
I really appreciated that joke. Actually,
oh, I did too, 100%. But I don't know if I've told this story on the show before, but this is a real quick one. So my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, she's a genius. She got markers and wrote my mom's name on the wall in our house and pretended like she didn't do it. And that cracked me up so hard because that's perfect. Because why would you put your name? Because that's obviously like, yeah, okay, you did it. You put your mom's name? Like
that's awesome.
Like, it's so good.
Oh my God, dude.
Like, so she had a perfect alibi and too good. So I was always jealous of that.
That shit says like, wait, did she write Debbie or your mom? Did she write mom?
No. She wrote Debbie.
She wrote Debbie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Something about it saying mom, like mom would write mom on the wall is like funnier to me actually than
that
seeing
actually
Debbie
is.
on the wall.
Right.
Like, so at first I thought it was like MOM.
Right.
Look who did this shit. The best part is okay, so really fast, the best part about that is that your sister, like, break it down. Your sister had the desire to like draw on the wall. She's like, I want to do that so bad.
Right.
And then she's like, wait a minute. But like, what am I gonna draw? It's like, well, I can't put, if I draw anything else, like they'll know it's like it was me because I'm drawing.
Right.
But if I write my mom's name, the best part is that she's like, "Oh, I got him, boys." I bet she thought she was like the absolute smartest kid on the planet when she did that.
I think she did. She
was like galaxy brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write her name.
Right.
But that also takes some. Anyways, I could go off on that. I could talk about that for a long time.
We might have to come back to that. So yeah. So Donnie's explaining this, and Mikey says about the parents being pissed because it never came off the wall. Leo suggests that that the parents probably did it. So that's even that breaks Michelangelo's brain. Like, he's just blown out. Right. So Donnie explains that it was probably art and explains what the images possibly are. Mikey says that what it is, obviously a deer-like creature, looks like a scorpion. I'm like, I don't see how he sees a scorpion here, which is a throwback to his earlier remarks. And I skipped past this. He mentions when they get there, like, I think in the voiceovers, that they're talking about how they hate scorpions. Yeah, which is, covered in scorpions. Not fun. Mikey astutely asks if these things are so important, Donatello, why aren't they being taken care of? Leo then doubles down with, and this is another one of my favorite parts of this film. Why aren't there any signs? And where is the nearest custodian, Ryan? Where is the nearest custodian? It gets better. Donatello, off the hit, like from the shell, like just right off the shell. They're in this room. The nearest custodians, everyone, are in this room. Guess what? They're listening to this podcast right now. They're in your car. They're in your house. They're in your bathroom.
You are the man.
You are the custodian.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is what your boy Donnie, and that was off the hip too. Like
that was
the timing wise.
Yeah.
Donnie's like, they're in this room.
Yep.
And
I loved that. That was so good. Like I'm I'm blowing this up a little bit, but like that's some good writing right there, because like the turtles.
No, I love it.
Yeah. And so Mikey freaks out and is like, what? Like, they're in this room, they're looking for it. It's great. But Leo tells him that to stop being a nunchuck. And Donnie continues with how we are all custodians of these types of treasures, and how this tells the story of the first people who lived here. And then they hear a startling sound. Suddenly, the foot. They turn off their flashlights, and they head to a huge hole in the cave to witness 2 Foot Clan ninjas trying to steal some of the pottery that's been found here. The ninjas talk about how they should take it before someone who doesn't know its true value gets a hold of it. Before some museum who thinks it belongs to everybody gets a hold of it, which that's whatever. That's an argument to be had. So then I was not expecting this. They ask what to do with the overgrown reptile, and oh snap, Ryan, they got our boy Raphael, the Road Homato, tied up, bound and gagged.
They got
in the
him
corner
in a compromised position.
Absolutely.
And, sometimes photos come out of people.
It's true. It is true.
Sometimes they look like that. And sometimes you think maybe that shouldn't be on your iPhone.
That's sometimes you shouldn't tender your resignation letter to the Foot Clan, as Raphael.
That's what happens. That's what happens when that letter's in Shredder's top desk drawer.
Right? Yeah,
that's what happens to you eventually.
Absolutely. So, I was not expecting this. I didn't think that they were gonna. I wasn't expecting the Foot to show up at all. But yeah, they got him, and this triggered me so hard about seeing the first Turtles game for the NES, where you'd have to rescue them if you died. Like you'd get to the third level, and they would be tied up, and it just triggered that in me, and I was like, this is amazing. So already I'm all about this. So where are we at now? Okay, so the Turtles see this, and their reactions are priceless. They're just blowed out. They're like, what? And what's funny is that Leo strangely walks away from the hole where they're witnessing all this, and he says, looks like a little unexpected action, and he's just overly excited.
He is excited.
They move away from the hole in the wall and bicker about the best course of action to take. In the background, we see one of the Foot maneuvering behind them with a shovel and bonks Leo on the dome. Fade to black. It just keeps getting better. Now we see all 4 turtles tied up with Leo knocked out, KO'd, he's over. And the Foot Ninjas talk about burying the turtles.
Wow.
In place of the loot. And I'm like,
instant Canadian with that bury.
Yeah, sorry, that just slipped out. So yeah, in place of the loot. So it's we're going to take the loot but put these turtles here. They talk about how it'll confuse the hell out of the archaeologists who discover them in the future, which totally would break their brains. Absolutely. Then if you thought that this hadn't gotten any better, there's still more on this train.
You're like, what's happening?
Strap in. It's high octane now. All of a sudden, Astral Plane Splinter shows up to stop them.
He really does. This is the outfit from Coots.
Yep.
It's rarely seen because Splinter's not seen on Getting Down in Your Town.
Right.
He's not at the Oprah interview. He's not on Regis and Kathy. He's nowhere to be seen except for the stage show.
Right.
And this is what I believe is the only other second known appearance of this iteration of Splinter's costume.
Right.
And it is here.
Yes. And he's not skipping stones. Cool. He's not skipping stones right now.
No. Your boy is not skipping stones.
No,
man.
He's not skipping
stones.
And
he is not skipping out on the bullshit going on in this cave. You know what I'm saying? He ain't skipping out on that.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So your Foot Boys, they don't care. They just don't care. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Splinter says drop some fire on him. He says, this illegal spelunking party is now concluded. Just like a professional. Just good. The Foot don't care. They try and to attack and attack the astral projection, and Splinter retaliates with a magic star that revives.
The more you know, star.
Absolutely,
basically.
And this revives Leo and unties the others. A fight scene presumably happens as Raph shouts, "Get 'em, guys!" And the screen does a spinny thing, just weird thing, commotions happening.
Things get all topsy-turvy. Yep.
Right. And it ends with It ends with the turtles standing over the defeated, tied up Foot Ninjas, and they look for Splinter for a half a second, but don't know where he is. So they just are like, okay, all right, let's just leave. And that's it. They do I'm jumping ahead here. Here we go. Yeah, they do a high five, and they're like, yeah, all right, we did it.
They do. Or
high
they
three.
Do that. It could have been high three. It could have been an insignia moment. Regis was not there. He did not. Regis did not pass the high three.
He did not
contest.
He did
or
not.
The insignia. I mean, he didn't even make the printout where they tell you didn't make it.
Precisely.
That was just ridiculous. But
absolutely,
he's not there.
So
it's 4 high threes.
It's 4 high threes. But then Ryan, where did the turtles go from there?
They go back to the camp, and it's dark time. This is like about to be submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like, I swear to God, it's about to become Are You Afraid of the Dark? They are. It's spooky times. So they're around the campfire, and what's funny is it comes back to them singing a TMNT rendition of Home on the Range.
Yes.
Which lyrics include, where seldom is heard a bogus shredder foot nerd, and the pizza's delivered all day. You know what I'm saying?
And if
Leo says,
real quick, if you want us to do our own rendition of this, you might want to keep an eye on the Patreon in the future. Just saying. Might want to do that. That might be up there. So let us know.
Eric, one of my dreams is to get with you in your backyard and have a campfire.
Yeah.
And like dead ass like sing that song.
Oh, we will make that happen. That'll be a reality.
But we don't even have to like film that or give it to patrons. I just want
for us
in my life experience.
That's for us.
Like when my life flashes before me at the end, I want that to be part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah. I'm looking for that for my highlight reel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah. So they're, you know, they all break into laughter at the end. Leo says, "I gotta admit it, Donnie. Your idea about a." This is so good. He goes, "I gotta admit it, Donnie. Your idea about a club that would make kids Deputy Ninja Turtles and honorary custodians of America's historical and archaeological treasures is a good one."
It is like, certified.
Holy shit! Like we missed a lot of conversation. Like there was a lot of like downtime, and then that turned into song time. I love it that like it was such a good idea, yet now they're singing songs, like they're not still talking about it. But then Leo comes back, he's like, "I gotta admit, this thing that the viewers missed was an awesome idea. Where I'm gonna explain it. It was a great idea."
Yeah.
And then Mikey brings Splinter up. Like he's kind of like, "Dude, but like, where's Splinter? Like whatever." And all of a sudden, the turtles are like real surprised by some like wind rustling. And then apparently it turns out that like Splinter was trying to like sneak up on this all happens very fast. Like this is all like really fast. It turns out that like Splinter was trying to sneak. He was trying to sneak up on the turtles. Yeah. They tripped over their gear because it wasn't properly stowed away. And he busts his ass. Like it's hard to explain, but he like didn't necessarily fully on like just like break and like fall on his ass, but he like stumbles a bunch.
Yeah.
And he says, "Backflips may be the only cure for that behavior."
Right.
They left their shit everywhere. Like Splinter, my man, Splinter, brother. Like, okay, Splinter.
And that's a throwback.
Look, I know. Look,
that's a throwback to the movie 2 where they're movie 2 where they're doing the
for sure. Yeah. Splinter, man. So like, look, like I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? And I know how it feels to get like kind of hoisted by your own petard. You know what I'm saying? Like when you kind of old dad yourself. Like I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. But you try to send people out to be good, you know, good ninjas, good turtles, you know, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. If you're trying to send them out there to be better ninjas, and you trip over like Mikey's duffel bag of like bullshit, like. I don't know. I don't know if you have much of a leg to stand on. And I feel like in other iterations, like if this is the animated series, it would end with Splinter on his ass, like, "Huh, I made it funny," and like that'd be the end of it. But we do get a little denouement here. So they help Splinter, and the shot you have is so great. They help him along, you know, and he's gonna make him do backflips. And then Raph asks how many. And Splinter responds with, "You are fortunate. Desert air makes me feel generous.
Yes.
I will overlook this." I'm like,
yeah.
Damn. I'm like, and I gotta admit, like when you old dad yourself and you look real stupid, and if your kids somehow are like, "Oh man, but I'm not in trouble, right?" Like, and you can reel it back in with like, "You know what? Not this time." Right. And you're back in control. Like that's best case scenario. So Splinter opened this looking real bad. But like, he reeled it back into old dad like dominant status pretty fast. I gotta give him credit. Like,
yeah,
that's a quick turnaround. And then Mikey like, oh god, and then So then after that, Mikey straight up knocks Splinter back on his face when he rushes to the fire with like a pizza to make.
Yeah.
And it becomes this whole pantomime. Like, so once all this gets like figured out, Splinter tells us why we're actually here. And, well, why'd you have us here, master? He's like, oh yes, let me tell you. I'm not just skipping stones. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. He wants to teach them about the responsibility of stewardship, which is a lesson that Donnie already had in the dome.
Oh,
and
yeah,
thankfully
totally.
taught everybody. Leo asks if it has to do with the historical stuff, and then explains their run-in with the Foot. He concludes the story by saying that, quote, we turned their crooked buns into the state troopers, which is right where those crooked buns should go. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Raph asks why this particular neighborhood, and Splinter says, one of my ancestors settled here exactly 400 years ago. From time to time, I come here alone to commune with him. Now,
yeah. So, was that Splinter? Was that him? Was that Astral Splinter, or was that his ancestor?
So 400 years before 1992. So you're looking at 1592.
Right.
Okay.
Which isn't that long ago. I mean, it's
1592.
It's ostensibly
that's
like
not that long ago.
Yeah,
that's not that long ago.
Yeah, no. Like, I mean,
that's not that 1592. That's not that long ago.
What I mean by that is it's not like
it really isn't weirdly that long ago.
Yeah,
but
it's like your great grandparent. So like 4 generations, is that right?
Not functionally, no.
Okay.
Because it doesn't take 100 years to make another generation.
That's true.
I just think the same thing, but you get screwed up. So generations are roughly 20 to 25 years apart.
Right.
So
if
you call it 25 years, you're looking at what, 16 generations.
Yeah, that's true.
Splinter.
Yeah.
So it's great, 15 times. You know what I mean? Like or whatever. Like I'm not a generation scientist.
Oh well, we shouldn't do math on the mic anyway. So.
Oh, math on the mic ain't. I mean that ain't good. He is. So I'm just trying to think of like what one of Splinter's ancestors would have settled there in the late 1500s.
Yeah.
But I don't honestly know much about feudal Japan and the history of their travel. I don't know how far they made it in that era. I don't know a lot about where they went, so I'm not gonna comment on it. You know what I'm saying?
And then,
but
the other thing,
I love exactly 400 years ago too.
Oh yeah,
I love that. Like
that
Splinter
definitive.
knows like the actual date. Like that person would have also known that exact date that they came to settle in the desert. Like
and also, this
in
means
1592, people didn't know what day of the week it was. Like most people didn't know what day of the week it was.
Right.
Most people didn't know what year it was.
Right.
Like so I feel like this cat being on top of his Gregorian calendar, like got him boys. But hey, he was one of Splinter's ancestors, so maybe he did have that going on.
But his ancestor, at least to us, is portrayed as an anthropomorphic mutant rat-faced dude.
Well, okay, so that's you implying it, because I like where you're going with this. I actually, it had not occurred to me that was not Splinter on the astral plane. Actually, I think the story does imply heavier that it was Splinter's ancestor who did it, because we'll figure this out. So let me finish up.
Okay. Yeah.
So he comes up here to commune with his ancestors, 400-year-old ancestor who settled here. Donnie asks, "Why did you leave us after the fight?" This is where like, so Donnie asks this while Mikey's grabbing the handful of sand to submit for the Midnight Society. He's like, shit. Like, where's my sand? He's like getting ready, right? Because you gotta make a good first impression. You know what I'm saying? Or you won't be asked back to the campfire. So he's getting the sand ready. Donnie says, "Why'd you leave us after the fight?" Splinter says he just arrived and it couldn't have been him.
Yeah.
Mikey sprinkles the sand, says the things. The kids around the campfire up here, and they're like, "Ooh, oh." And then they go, is that the whole story?
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like the story's over. And Mikey's like, shh. And then the turtles look at the camera and are mind blown.
Yeah, just
absolutely blown out. Like they're like, that was a dead ass ghost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the problem with this narrative, though, to me, where there's a little hole, is that Splinter rocks that astral plane.
He does, yeah. It's not unheard of.
If this was any other stable of characters, okay, if it was the cast of Who's the Boss, okay, and you saw someone who looked like Tony Danza, like in the cave, like, hey, this, what's he fucking say? What's he say? He says, I gotta find the quote now. This illegal spelunking is over, or whatever he says.
This illegal spelunking expedition is what did it say?
It's concluded.
Concluded, yeah. This illegal spelunking party is now concluded.
So if weird old timey Tony Danza said that, and then Tony Danza was like, "But I just got here," like, and everyone got blown out, you'd be like, "Oh, well, Tony Danza can't appear as a ghost,"
right?
But the problem is, so you'd be like, "Oh, that must have been Tony Danza's like old 400-year-old relative," but the problem with Splinter can't just be on the astral plane,
right?
And he is documented in the first movie famously on the astral plane, one of the coolest scenes in that movie. So I feel like they missed it. Also, it's very weird that Splinter's like 400-year-old ancestor spoke perfect English.
That is true too. Yeah, I mean, he's had 400 years to learn it, I guess. So I mean, yeah. But.
So we get some credits.
We do.
You know what I'm saying? You get your best boy.
Best boy. Yeah,
like, don't forget about your best boy.
Hold on. No.
And your best boy grip.
You get your best boy electric and your best boy grip.
Yes.
You get them both.
Yes.
The best boy electric.
Yes.
That should be the name of our next electronic record.
Do you think the term "get a grip" meant like get a grip on reality, or do you think it was actually like an old timey Hollywood phrase that was like get a grip, like no, go find someone to haul your shit around?
I think it was to go find somebody, and then it became I think one begat the other, I believe. Yeah.
Get a grip.
Yeah.
Like, go find John Salzman. Like,
right.
like I need someone to carry things.
Right.
I love the fact that before I got into like my brief Hollywood Ryan Guy filmmaking venture, I didn't really understand what a grip did.
Yeah.
But then we went to school, and like afterwards, I realized that a grip's just a guy that carries things around, and I was like, true.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that makes sense. But I always assumed that what grip was like they were holding something during the shot. That like they were professional holders is what I thought they were. I thought they like if it was like, oh, like here's a fake tree, they were like you had a grip, like holding it up. Like,
right.
And they were called grips because they held shit while you were filming.
Yeah.
Not they were called grips because they set up lights and like haul cases around all day. They're basically like filmmaking roadies.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they're necessary. I'm not talking down about grips. Like they're literally necessary to make a movie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I guess unless you're Clint Eastwood, where you make the actor's grip.
Oh, there you go.
Hear that story?
No, but
he does that. He makes his actors like carry shit around.
That's
like,
awesome.
And shit all the time. Pretty great. So you get your credits, and this is where like the worlds come together for you, and you're like, John Dupree, Bob Behan, the original voice cast. You're like, special thanks to Mark Friedman at Surge Licensing. You're like, cool. Kevin and Peter, they're in here too, and you realize that really, this is like the only time those people all come together on one project.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
Well, it's weird that it was for this. Now, obviously, John Dupree music was because they but they used music assets from the first film.
Right.
Okay. Like John Dupree didn't like write something new for this, but like he's there in spirit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So then you get the credit scene. Don't worry, baby bird, because Eric probably jumped at this because of Skeletor nightmares.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
100%.
He probably saw Skeletor's like face in his dreams again.
Frank Langella was like
probably
right
sleep
there.
with that light on again.
Yep.
He was right there. Had to sleep with the light on again.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon, his wife, not happy about it.
Nope, never.
I mean, the real behind the curtain is they had to go on that trip just to calm her down.
Precisely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why your boy couldn't do the show.
That's why. Yeah.
He's like, my wife, Shannon, my wife, punched me in the damn face the other night.
She did.
I have a black eye. And I'm too ashamed to do the show.
Mm-hmm.
I said it. I said
you
it.
Did.
I
you
said
did.
it out loud.
Hey.
They deserve to know.
I'm out in the desert, man. There's nothing
You
to
heal
hide.
quickly.
I do. Well, not as quickly as I'd like, but yes.
I imagine if Shannon, your wife, actually punched you in the actual face for leaving the lights on because you got scared by a TMNT video, that you would run from the scene much like those desert lizards run when they don't want to put their feet on the hot ground. Like you'd have to like waddle. Like I can see you running like that.
Oh yeah.
And I can see Shannon like chasing you with like a cooking pan, and you're like,
yep.
bleh, 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 bleh. Like that's how you'd run.
Yeah. That's
anyway.
fair.
It's post-credit scene time. So this is interesting.
Yes.
So we cut to black and to more scenes of the desert and a voiceover from Donnie. Donnie winds up recounting some exchanges between Splinter's instructions, which are that we need not be stewards of the earth forever. And to Raph and Mikey's quips about forever being a long time and that the problems would easily be solved with 4 Ninja Turtles and 40 million kids. This is where they lay out their whole thing of like, look, all of us, like with our powers combined, you know, to lack of a better phrase, we can stop people from destroying the natural like things like the petroglyphs. Like don't mess it up. Like why are you an asshole? Let's just fix this. Okay. So Donnie drops some facts. He says all across the world, the first 12,000 years of man have been preserved and taken care of, but some places have not. Most of these locations are on our vast public lands, 270 million acres. I love to death that Texas is just missing from that.
Yeah, it cracked me up.
Texas and California are just like, no.
Yeah, he's showing a map on the screen right now for those who are listening. Yeah,
he's showing a map on the screen, and Texas and California are like the last 2 pieces of this 48 continental state puzzle. I'm not entirely sure why.
Well, hold on, baby bird. He explains it.
Oh, he does. That's right in the notes. It's weird. Okay, so he shows an image. Yeah, the image, and then he continues to say, that this 270 million acres is about the size of Texas and California combined. And they are under the protection of the Bureau of Land Management, or BLM for short. I'm sure now they're like, the Bureau, hold on, Bureau of Management of Land?
Yeah.
Can we not? No? Bureau, Land Management Bureau. Got him, boys.
That's it.
Yeah, so he gets into that. I forgot. Because it's been 2 weeks. Let's see. So one BLM ranger has to cover over 1 million acres. Yeah. That's how insane. Understaffed your shit is.
Right.
This is where the Department of the Interior is like, that's why we're asking you kids for help, because they don't give us enough people.
Right.
And we can't secure all these sites. And I've got 1 million acres covered today. And it's my wife's birthday. And I'm out here because you guys have to take the goddamn pottery, you asshole. And it becomes a whole thing. So there are over 160,000 sites known out of what could be a possibility of 5 million possible sites. Yeah. That's insane to me.
It is.
Like I gotta admit, being fat white guy, live in Florida, middle class man, I don't often think about the responsibilities of the Bureau of Land Management / all of us and the Turtles.
Right.
In like actually preserving this stuff. But because like literally people settled everywhere, like actually the everywhere, especially in the Southwest.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible to cover that. Like there are potentially, and I love actually this kind of caught my imagination a little bit. There are like potentially like just places no one's walked again.
Yeah.
Like since those people left, there is potential for like pueblos and different stuff to exist that like just just have never been seen by modern man.
Right.
Like that is actually pretty badass to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, totally.
So, the rest of this wraps up pretty fast. And Donnie then says he's going to show us some pictures of places that are or could be historical sites.
Yeah.
But there's a catch.
Yeah.
Each image will be displayed distorted, and we have to guess what it is before it comes into focus. Now, Eric is showing you an example of this.
Yes.
Now, for our podcast-only listeners, number one, please come out and check out the show on YouTube, because the YouTube is great, because you get to see us, and it's awesome, and we love you, and we love you, and we wish that you were here to love more.
There you go.
This is best represented by, I think, to try to give the podcast listener something to see. It looks like, you know, the thing they do now, which is actually really cool, where they actually take films, like all the film's frames, like all the frames in a film, and they shorten it down to like one bar of color.
Yeah.
And they basically make a color map of the movie. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't necessarily in that, but I have an idea of what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's super badass. They do it with certain films, and once again, you can't see any frames because literally they're just like made into little bars that are like the average color of the frame, and it becomes this long spectrum of like how color changes. It's super cool with some films, like Star Wars.
Yeah,
you could just tell when they're on Tatooine and when they're on the Death Star and when they're in the Millennium Falcon. You can just see the color change, like the color palette change. And you're like, oh, that's fucking awesome. So that's basically what this looks like. It's pixelated in a very like, we're literally gonna like move all the colors around weird. Fun fact: there is zero way to win this game.
Absolutely.
Donnie has set
100%.
you up to actually fail, because if you're watching this later, live or later, you can see the image before you. And what do you think that is?
Yeah.
Now, what I hate is the fact that you have to like actually know specifically. You can't just say, "Oh, it's an old Pueblo."
Yeah, no.
Incorrect.
It's not generalized at all. It's very specific. No. You were wrong, Ryan.
You need to know.
This was Anglo 1863 through 1886, New Mexico. That's what that was.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
You must know it is Doc Henson's place.
Yeah.
In Idaho.
Yeah. That's,
do you have pictures of all of them?
Do I? Oh, I don't.
Did you grab them all?
I did. Apparently, I didn't.
No.
I know. I either did and didn't put them on. I don't know, but yeah, I wish I did. Doc Henson's house.
I mean, once again, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I come from those that stole the land. I don't know of these sites.
Right.
And I feel awful.
Yeah, no.
That I don't know of these sites. It makes me feel like shit. I think it's stupid. I think in school I should have been made to know more of these cool ass sites. I know none of these. I know none of these places.
Right. Like they have Doc Henson.
I'm sure that there are people that are a little bit that have actually been like, you know, to other places besides Florida, Georgia, and Arizona once for a tournament, and don't just sit around eating cheese crackers all day.
Right.
Who have like been out and seen Snowden Cabin in Colorado and been like, oh, I really connected to this place. This is a great place. Or they've been to the Citadel in New Mexico.
Or the bee ovens.
To the bee ovens in Nevada.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's where they used to cook the bees. And they're like, I know that, like, I feel like I know this country more. But they didn't have this on. They didn't have this on Nickelodeon, and they don't show these during the Rays game. So I've never seen these things. And I feel like less of a good American for not knowing.
That's excellent. That's a good point. We feel like less of a good turtle, less of good ninjas, and far less of good Americans for not knowing these places.
Let me tell you something dead ass, Eric. All 9 of these places, especially Doc Henson's place, I would not trust my hard stomping ass to even walk up to it.
Right.
I'd
Absolutely.
Be like,
no.
I am going to break the beehive ovens if I just go onto the area. Like I will find a way to be like, huh, what's that? A tomato? And like knock over one of like the 5 ovens that are like been there since before my ancestors came to this country. Like that's what happened to me at Francis Canyon Pueblito in New Mexico. I'd be like, is that a Pueblito? Not anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Anymore. Nope.
So like, yeah, a Godlito. You know what I'm saying? Like pile of Dustlito. is what I leave behind. So yeah. But unless you are, and I still think, I would love to see if you took a Bureau of Land Management, Land Management Bureau
Right.
officer, if you took them and you played this game with those dudes, they wouldn't.
Oh yeah, no, there's no way.
That's how bad this game is. This is called you lose a game but get to see pictures of like 9 cool places.
Right, and we make you feel like shit for not knowing what they are anyway. Like, yeah, it's just like you said, sets you up to fail.
I guess people that live like, where the things are happening. So like people that live in New Mexico are probably like, oh yeah, no, so I get tacos, and from the tacos I can see Anglo. You know what I'm saying? And then I go hang out, and then like one time I went on a horse ride with my dad, and you're like, where's the story going? He's like, and we just rolled up on like the Citadel, and he was like, that's the Citadel. I'm like, true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you're from there, Turtletarians, if you're down amongst these natural historic landmarks, let us know if seeing Crow Canyon petroglyphs is like going to Circle K in Florida, because I feel like if it was, then I would know.
Right.
I feel like if going to Wawa and going to the Beehive ovens were the same thing,
right,
I would be in a lot better shape.
Oh, 100%.
Anyway, at the end, Donnie explains what an archaeologist is, why the Foot would want to steal stuff from these places, and if you see someone trying to steal something, tell a police officer.
Yeah.
Then he cuts back to the campfire and Home on the Range. They sing that again.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had that asset. And they're going to use it. And that's the end. The mystery of the cliffs. Not solved.
No,
but at least concluded for the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
So what do you think, Eric?
So overall, I was pleasantly surprised by this. The combining of the different assets was very interesting. The message was... It wasn't really hokey. Like, they didn't really, like, cheese it up too much. The jokes were funny.
Not really. Like, they made a pretty honest case for it.
Yeah.
Like, in as much as you... Like, write a 15-minute... Because, I mean, the actual, like, Mystery of the Cliff is, like, 15 minutes. And, like, the last 5 minutes is Donnie, play a game. You can't win. Congratulations.
Right. Yeah.
Beehive ovens. So I feel like the 15 minutes, like, honestly, for kids, try to write a 15-minute skit with the Turtles where you explain the Department of the Interior's Bureau of Land Management and why it's important not to take shit.
Right.
Like, why it's important, like, why you can't just, like write 420 on top of, like, a petroglyph and, like, 69 and, like, draw an 8-ball. Like,
right.
Like, why you can't do that. Like, why you can't, like, get your skateboard and try to grind on, like, the Beehive ovens. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you could do a better job. I feel like in 15 minutes, you have to communicate the shit.
Absolutely.
With the Turtles.
And I think they did a great job of it. I was not expecting the Foot to show up. I was not expecting Astral.
I wasn't either.
Splinter. Like, that was just, I don't know. Like, it just was, like, wild to see that. And I loved it. I actually really wasn't. Now, granted, it does have the educational thing to it, but the veneer of the Ninja Turtles helped to swallow that pill a little bit. And
oh yeah, I'm about that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe me and you, like, we like those deep dives. Like, I'm glad to know more about this, man. I mean, straight up, like,
oh yeah.
Later on after this, eventually they would make you pay for the History Channel. You know what I'm saying? But here they're giving it to you for free.
Giving it to you for free.
Like, go for it.
But yeah, it made me wish for more of these though. Like, at the end of it, like, I kind of was hoping that someone would unearth a lot more of things, like where they're talking about, like, don't support SeaWorld, and here's why, and, like, cut the rings on your 6-packs and stuff, because our ancestors get caught in there, things like that. Like, I would watch the Ninja Turtles do this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because this is very similar to to the Metro.
Oh god, what you got me on one right now about what would happen if, like,
oh, you talk about the things on the screen.
No. What would happen? What would happen if, like, ancestors like spirits and stuff got stuck in 6-pack rings, so you had to cut them for that reason. Not just the turtles. Like one day, like there's like conclusive scientific evidence, like different and I don't even want to talk about native culture because I don't know about it, and I feel like a piece of shit for even saying it. I know our boy M. Wilson like lives in that culture, and talking to him and stuff has brought me closer to that and giving me so much more knowledge and in-depth knowledge. But
yeah,
like. Wouldn't it be crazy if people were like, yeah, no, but like dead ass, like our ancestors get caught in those, and everyone's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then like one day there's like scientific evidence. It's like, you can. We made a device. They're in there.
Right.
Cut the 6-pack rings.
Yeah.
I'm dead ass about this.
Like it's a legit concern.
Well, I mean, yeah, and there's only
and
you know what would happen. You know what happened in this country? I hate to do this. You know what happened in this country?
Oh goodness.
There'd be basically every white person like, are my ancestors in there? like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They'd be like,
oh yeah,
hold on.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is that Meemaw? Because I'm about to cut every ring if it's Meemaw.
Right. But like, if it's not, then you know
my ancestors. But it'd be so funny if that was why it was burned into because it got burned in our brain in the 90s. Like cut them, like because they showed us like enough images of like that duck died, and you're like,
yeah,
shit. It's like cut the rings.
Like
watch a turtle.
Yeah,
he's dead now, and you're like, oh, I'll cut him. And I know this has gone around online and stuff. I cut the shit out of him.
Yeah,
I can't see him and not cut him.
I feel bad pouring any dark liquid anywhere else except for the trash because of that duck that's in the Dawn commercials that they hired, that they try to wash the oil off of him. I just don't want I can't see any animal getting hurt like that. Doesn't I'll watch people getting hurt all day. My dad just had eye surgery.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I went in and saw him, and he has this thing over his eye. Yeah. He has this thing over his eye, and you could see some bruising around his face. Ryan, I hurt myself. You know, that's why we couldn't do the show. So, and if I laugh, it hurts, as we talked about on the pre-show. And so I'm looking at my invalid dad, like with a bruised eye and looking like Cyclops and stuff, and like got like all this stuff on him, in pain. Well, he's not really in pain. He's actually fine, but I'm like laughing and I'm hurting myself because I can't help but laugh when humans get hurt because Bob Saget made it to where like I laugh at human pain. But if I see an animal getting hurt, unless it's like a cat like making a jump and then falling down, like they're okay. But like that just like rips me to my core. Like I'm like, no, that's not a thing. That's not good. And so but I'll watch humans get hurt all day. So yeah. But so I might be torn if our ancestors,
because I guess you don't know what's caught in there.
That's true. You don't know.
And bringing it back up, like don't leave your damn 6-pack rings like at the National Historic Sites. Like
yeah,
that's the other problem. I bet you what those BLM rangers have to deal with all the time is like Mountain Dew cans and Dorito bags and like cigarette butts. Like that's got to be the most annoying shit. Where you're like
100 all the time.
We're like. You hear a story like you get called because the sheriff had to come out and break up a party, and you're like, why are you calling me? And they're like, well, this is like a pueblo or something, and I've never seen it. And you're like, that's an undiscovered historic site. And he's like, I've never seen it. I've lived here my whole life. And he's like, and how many kids were doing the Doritos and smoking weed? And he's like, at least 25.
Right.
And you're like, okay. So it's gonna suck. And you drive the 1 million acres, you know what I'm saying? Because you know on a Friday it's not gonna be next acre. It's gonna be on the millionth fucking acre, right? Goddamn, your wife's birthday, your kids running late for soccer practice. You're gonna drive all the way out there, and you get in that bit, and you go, this is, and you see like someone has just like used one of like the ancient pots as like a bong, and you're like, oh damn it. And then like you see like random shit written on the walls, and you're like I got here too late. You know what I'm saying? Like that has to be like what they deal with all the time.
All the time.
Why did you actually have a party and hotbox this pueblo?
Right. Exactly. Why did you do that? Well, hey, if you are part of the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, and you got answers to these questions, let us know. We desperately want to know. And you can do that by emailing us at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. You could also go to the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com. You can find all of our old episodes and go along the hero's journey from all the way from the beginning, which is episode 0. And yeah, you can do that. You could also find links to all of our other stuff, bands, podcasts, other things we do. That's up there as well. Right now, we would really like it if everyone could go to YouTube and subscribe, like, follow, whatever you got to do. That's where we're pretty much at nowadays, and it's been a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people have really responded well to it. So we got a lot of other things planned, and it's been going well, and we're having a ton of fun, and we want y'all to be a part of it too. So be sure to head over to YouTube if you're not there already and check that out. Turtle Soup Group on Facebook as per usual.
Group
place to be.
Soup show place. Pizza rat face dude guy show.
Hey
man, like check us out on the internet.
Check us out on the internet, and then on Instagram, Turtle Soup Show with the underscores between each word, and rate, review, subscribe, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. That means a lot. And yeah, if you want to go the extra mile, guys. If you wanna go above and beyond, head over to patreon.com, find Turtle Soup Done Been Making a Podcast, and by the end of this month, which is what, June? Yeah, by the end of this month, if not before that, you'll see an updated version of that with all the new stuff that's happening. So I just got the sizes for the people who got shirts. So I got to make those coming up, and I'm starting to make all the other stuff for it too. So be on the lookout for that in the near future for those of you who have kept the show from saying clang. And then to those of you who have been, because we've been getting a lot of emails about this, people have been asking, but we just want to make sure that everyone rests assured and know that, one thing that's not going to change, because we haven't really talked about what changes are actually going to happen with the Patreon. One thing that will not change is that you will get that email that says thank you for your support. Like, no matter the tier, it could be $1, it could be $200, whatever it is, you're gonna get that email. People were like, hey, am I gonna get that email? I really want that email. That means a lot. And hey, it means a lot to us too. So we just want to let y'all know that is not going to change. That's not going anywhere. That's a standard.
Like, me being a patron at $8 million, it really depends on this email shit.
Hey,
it's kind of like I need to get that email.
What's that thing now that they're doing where they're it's like the new cryptocurrency where you can you own an actual image from the internet or something like that?
Non-fungible token.
Fungible.
NFTs.
That's it. Yes, NFT. That's it. It's kind of like that, I guess. That it's like it means something. It has some merit. And who are we?
I guess you could see your own personalized Turtle Soup. Thank you for being part of our family, and we can count on you. Email as an NFT.
Yeah. Who knows?
A value that is to be speculated on at any time.
Absolutely. So yeah, so that's that. But yeah, head over to patreon.com. Check all that out if you feel so inclined, and we sincerely appreciate it. And yeah, so I think that's going to do it for us tonight. That is
Ryan. All. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next week and else time.